Hello everyone, welcome to my pencils. Okay, I also have some wands, some doe foots, some pens in here as well, but these are all of my slim stylus type makeup products. So we have my eyeliners here, both liquid and pencil. I have my lip liners here. I have my brow and lash products here, and a bunch of eye primers. Let's start first with my eyeliners. And I'm going to go ahead and sort out my liquid liners, and we will start with those. The one product that I have missing from this group is my Tarte Kitten Liner in the shade Black. I will try to insert a photo of the product here. This is something I actually used recently, which is why I think I can't find it. But I have just started using that one, and so far I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to hang on to it. I think I only have one product that I'm going to go ahead and get rid of from this group here, and that is my Milani Stay Put Matte Eyeliner. This is in the shade Espresso Matte. If you are looking for the most long-wearing eyeliner that you have ever experienced in your life, I actually wore this through childbirth, and it looked fantastic on the other side. So this is absolutely the most long-wearing eyeliner I have ever experienced. However, I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with it, because as long-wearing as it is and dries down matte and opaque and beautifully, I hate this applicator. First of all, I really don't like this whole pot situation. Give me a pen any day of the week. Also, the applicator, it's a felt tip. I don't prefer a felt tip. I tend to prefer a brush tip, but this particular felt tip is a little bit too wiggly at the very point. It is a little too firm along the rest of the applicator, which makes it really difficult for me to be precise. It is looking a little watery right now, and that is because it is also quite old. It has been a while since I reached for this, because most of the time I don't need an eyeliner that's going to endure the apocalypse. And because I dislike the applicator so much, I just don't reach for it. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. This is another one that I have yet to start really using. This is the Eyeko Black Magic Cocoa Edit Eyeliner in the shade Warm Brown. I'm not going to open it simply because I have not yet really gotten to it and I don't want to dry it out. This is the first Eyeko product that I have ever owned. We'll see what I think about it when it comes time to open it up and try it out. Likewise, I have yet to open this one. This is the Stila Stay All Day Dual-Ended Matte Liquid Eyeliner. It has a micro tip pencil on one end and a liquid liner on the other. Now Stila, I have gone through several of the Stila Stay All Day eyeliners. I have one of the dual-ended ones here. I finished another one of these dual-ended ones earlier this year. I really do like the Stila Stay All Day. Even though it is a felt tip and not my preferred brush tip, I do think it is a really, really good felt tip. And I have always really enjoyed their liners. So when I saw this in TJ Maxx for $10, I picked it up. This is the other Stila dual-ended that I have. On one end, we have the shade Mai Tai, which is kind of like a very metallic orangey shade. And then, of course, we have the Intense Black on this side. One of the reasons why I prefer brush tips is I do feel like felt tips tend to lose their point more easily than brush tips do, at least in my experience, and I find the brush tips a little bit more easy to control. However, these ones are actually quite durable. They dry down matte, they're very long wearing. I have been really, really happy with this one and the one that I completed earlier this year. Next, I have this one. This is my Pat McGrath Labs, let's see, Perma Precision Liquid Liner. This is in the shade Extreme Black Coffee, which is just a really rich brown. This is a felt tip, but it's a really nice felt tip. I have not been unhappy with this particular felt tip. It's maybe a little more wiggly at the tip than I would personally like, but it's really nice and opaque. It dries down completely matte. It wears a really long time. I picked this up at TJ Maxx for $13, which I think is a fair price for this product. However, I'm pretty sure the retail price is at least twice that, and I don't know that this is something that I would be willing to pay retail price for. I'm happy with it as it is. Don't know that it will be a repurchase. Last, I have this glitter liner from Moira. It is this really pretty color 04 Show Off. It is really nice and opaque. It doesn't do any weird stuff like glitter liners sometimes can, like drying up and flaking off. It's a really, really dense sparkle. I remember back in the day, Urban Decay was the only one that you could get your hands on that was really, really densely packed with glitter like this. This one is absolutely every bit as good as the Urban Decay liner and significantly less expensive. So yeah, I really enjoy this one and we'll be hanging on to it. So including the Tarte Kitten liner that is not here at the moment, I am going to be hanging on to 6 liquid liners and getting rid of one. So not the most amazing start here as far as decluttering goes, but I think we'll manage a few other things among these other categories. Okay, next we have my pencil liners, and I think there are a few more of these that I can go ahead and let go. I'm going to take these ones out first. These are the 2 eyeshadow sticks that I have. I classify these alongside my eyeliners, not because I necessarily use them as eyeliners. I tend to use these in particular more as an all-over color or just as a little bit of shine in the inner corner, like I do with this Laura Mercier Intense Moonlight. I just don't have enough of them to have them in a category all on their own. So this is the Kiko Milano Long Lasting Eyeshadow Stick in the shade 38. This is a beautiful one and done. It's not super shiny. It's got a lot of fine dispersed sparkle in there. I do really like this one all over the lid. And then this is the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in the shade Intense Moonlight. This is the one that I really enjoy at the inside corner because it is so incredibly reflective. I really enjoy both of these. These are the only 2 that, well, with one more exception, that escaped my eyeshadow stick purge that happened last year, because these were the ones that were pretty enough that I didn't want to say goodbye to them. So I'm going to go ahead and hang on to these. One that I am going to get rid of, this is the ColourPop Shadow Sticks in the shade Princess Morebucks. This was part of the Powerpuff Girls collection that they had some time ago. And I don't have too much complaint with the formula. I just find it to be a little bit, gosh, it looks so good in the swatch, but every time I put it on my eyes, I just find it a little bit underwhelming, and it's just never quite what I want it to be. I end up having to add something to it. I think it might be that the shift on this one, if it's not directly in light, like right now, this is full light, but more often you're going to see this color here, and that's quite dark. When I use blue on my eyes, which is not often, it's not one of my favorite shadow colors to wear, I prefer a much more pastel blue. So I think that's one of the reasons why I'm always a little unsatisfied with it when I use it. It's also not great in the waterline, and yeah, I struggle to get the use on this that I would like to, so I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. Here's another one that looks like it would be gorgeous, but I'm going to let this one go as well. This is the Moira Statement Gel Liner in the shade 07 Mint. Look at this packaging. It's so pretty, isn't it? However, I have kind of the opposite problem with this liner that I did with the Princess Morebucks. This is the sort of thing that I would probably want to wear in my waterline, along with a matching pastel eye look or contrasting pastel eye look. And once I have this on the waterline, it is almost indistinguishable from white. Obviously, it doesn't look white here on my hand, but it's just a little too pastel. So it's never quite what I want it to be. I put this on and then feel like I need to pair it with something else. I'm just never satisfied with how this looks in my waterline. I want something just a smidge more colorful than this. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one as well. Here is a pastel liner that I actually really quite enjoy. This is the LA Girl Pastel Dreams Auto Eyeliner in the shade Lavender. It's very much a pastel color, but there's definitely more saturation in this pastel than there is in this one. There's just a lot of white in this pastel, which I know that's what a pastel is. But when I put this lavender color in my waterline, I feel like from a normal distance, you can tell that it's not white. I'm really happy with this LA Girl one. It goes in the waterline well, it stays well, no complaints. Gonna hang on to this one. Let's do the ColourPop ones. At least I'm pretty sure this one is ColourPop. It's the right packaging. Yeah, this is ColourPop, but all the writing has worn off of it. There is some remnant of some gold stars on here, but I can't find this in any of my purchase history. I'm wondering if it's something that I bought from Ulta. That is entirely possible. I don't know what the color is, but it's beautiful. If any of you know what liner this is, can you let me know? Now, I do have a little bit of a beef with ColourPop eyeliners. Now, they're very rich. They go in the waterline well. They stay well. I love that. However, every single one of them that I've had prior to this has broken off in the tube at some point. And then they end up falling out onto the floor. That's what happened to my last green liner. I had a green one of these that I really enjoyed, and it broke off inside the tube and ended up on the bathroom floor. There's no saving it. There's no putting something in your waterline after it's been on your bathroom floor. That's just not a thing. So that was a bummer for me. This one has not yet broken, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it and use it as long as I can. This one, the text is likewise worn off, but I know that the name of this one, this is ColourPop as well. The name of this one is Charmer. And this one is just more of a deep kind of berry color. I don't know that I necessarily need to have both of these, but I enjoy them both. They both perform well. This one hasn't broken yet either, so I will use this one as long as I can as well. Then I have 3 liners from NYX. I have 2 in the shade Black. This one obviously is significantly newer because all of the writing is worn off of this one. I believe I misplaced this one, and so I replaced it with this, although I shouldn't have because I forgot about the Rimmel one that I had. I'll show it to you in a moment. This one is in brown, and it was actually one of my 24 and 24 that I failed to complete. There was so little left, but yeah, I did not end up wearing a ton of pencil liner this year, and so I just was not able to get through it. I am going to hang on to all 3 of these, however. I do find these NYX retractable eyeliners to be very creamy, very pigmented, very long wearing. I have no complaints. So hanging on to all 3 of these. 2 that I can let go are these ones. These are 2 of the 3 24/7 Glide On eye pencils from Urban Decay that are in my collection. This one's in the shade 0, which is their black shade, and this one is in the shade Mildew. Both of these were gifts a long time ago. I think this is the older packaging, is the Mildew, because both of these, that's the problem. Both of these are stupid old. I am so impressed that this one is as creamy as it is all of this time later, but they're at an age, I don't worry as much about the age of eye pencils when they are the kind that you sharpen, because they're a lot more sanitary and I don't have to worry as much about cumulative bacteria buildup. But seriously, it's time for them to go. The Mildew does still perform fairly well, but this one used to be in a lot better shape. And why keep a black pencil that looks like this when I have a black pencil that looks like this? Do you see the difference? Do you see how creamy and ultra black that is? This one's reading a little bit gray on me. I don't know if you can tell the difference on camera, but this one is so much darker and it glides on so much creamier. This is the Rimmel Scandalize in 001 Black. This is one of the best black pencils that I have ever used in my entire life. It was in my 24 and 24, but again, I did not use a whole lot of pencil liner this year, so I was unable to finish it up. I'm going to go ahead and make that a priority for this coming year, but definitely hanging on to this one. Let me show you the NYX one as well. I really feel like the NYX and the Rimmel definitely outperform what my Urban Decay is able to do. There's really no reason for me to keep either one of these. This is one I am hanging on to. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On eye pencil in the shade Psychedelic Sister, which is this beautiful purple shade here. It is so pretty. It is so creamy. Definitely much closer to the beginning of its life than the other 2. I'm going to go ahead and keep this one in my collection. Then I have this. This is the Too Faced Killer Liner in the shade Killer Queen. This is another purple liner. I don't know that I need quite so many purple liners, but for a while there I was kind of on a kick trying to find the perfect one. Let me swatch my other purple liners just for fun. So that's Psychedelic Sister. That is my Killer Queen. This is ColourPop. It's pretty similar in shade to the Urban Decay, except the Urban Decay has more of that metallic finish, whereas the ColourPop is definitely more matte. And I have Charmer, which I think is closer to Killer Queen. Not quite as creamy though. Gosh, those are so similar. Do I need both of those? I don't know that I do. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Charmer. This gives me more of like a clear kind of eggplant color, where this one is deep enough that it's almost indistinguishable from like a black brown, unless I were to use it on a larger surface area, which that's not really how I use my liners. This one, it's a little drier. There's more drag on the skin. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. This one I'm going to prefer if I'm going for this type of color. I did not expect to let either of my ColourPop go, but here we are. This is the NYX Epic Wear in the shade Pure White. I don't wear white in the waterline often, but it is a look I sometimes enjoy. I also find that this is a good thing to put on the waterline if I'm wanting to tap an eyeshadow on over it in order to create my own kind of custom waterline shade. Now, if you are a contact lens wearer, do not try this. I used to wear contacts before I got LASIK, and trying to tap a powder eyeshadow onto my waterline was, well, there was a 50-50 chance that I would just cry off all of my makeup right there. So proceed with caution if you are a contact lens wearer or if you have sensitive eyes. I don't know if that's a technique you really are going to want to try, but I have used it in that way and it did really well. So I'm going to go ahead and hang on to this. Last, I have my Rimmel Exaggerate Waterproof Eye Definer. This is in the shade 213 in the nude. Everyone needs a good nude eyeliner. And this is a really nice one. I have been super impressed with every eyeliner and lip liner I have ever, any liner at all that I have ever purchased from Rimmel. It has just been tippy top. I've really, really enjoyed it. I don't know if you can see it very well on my hand there, but there she is, still going strong. Gonna hang on to her as well. Okay, so that is my pencil liners. I actually did a little bit better with these than I did with my liquid liners. Let me see how many we have left. So I am decluttering 5 and I am hanging on to 12. That is still a lot of eyeliners, especially given how slowly I tend to go through eyeliners, but it is what it is. I do enjoy the color variety that I have here. There is a lot of purple going on. I admit that. We're leaning very purple here. But what can I say? I enjoy purple. All of these liners are products that I really enjoy, and that's kind of what I'm aiming for with this little bit of a declutter, is trying to eliminate those things that I'm not excited to use. Okay, let's take a look at my lip liners. I have too many lip liners. I am not sure how many of these I'm going to get rid of. There's a few in here, I think, that I can go ahead and get rid of. Let me pull the ones that I'm definitely not getting rid of. And that is all of these Give Me Glow liners. They are very new in my collection, and so far I am really enjoying them. There is one missing from this. I have a 6th one in the shade, I think, Wicked. I used it a couple of days ago, so it's probably in a purse. I just didn't want to go digging. But let me show you the shades. These were on sale on Give Me Glow's website. Sorry, I should be in frame, right? These were on sale on Give Me Glow's website for $1 a piece. So I just picked up all the ones that looked good. So this one is in the shade She's All That. It's a beautiful berry. This is the shade Cinnamon Bun, which is a nice neutral brown color. I was actually pleasantly surprised by this one. I expected it to be more warm given the name, but I'm glad that it is a little bit more on the neutral side. Do love a good brown liner. You will see that. You will see that as I continue to swatch these. This is the shade Daddy. Was a little pinkier and a little lighter than Cinnamon Bun. Then I have That's So 90s, which is that deeper kind of pinky brown. Love that shade as well. You will also see that reflected in my collection. And then I have She-Wolf. So far, I'm really enjoying all of these liners. They are very creamy. If you're looking for a super sharp, precise lip liner, these are not the ones for you. But if you prefer to wear your lip liner all over the lip, but you still want a good amount of pigment and something that lasts fairly well, this will do that for you. Here's one that I am very surprised to see. This is the ColourPop pencil in the shade BFF3. This was actually part of my, I think, 50 Shades of Brown. It is a beautiful, very brown lip liner. Not a whole lot of pink in there. I do enjoy this lip liner. The thing is, it has been missing since August, and I just recently found it because I was cleaning out my closet and I found it in a handbag that was at the back of my closet. Yeah, and here it is. It had been missing long enough. I was pretty sure I was never going to see it again. But we have very little left of this lip liner, so I'm really hoping that I can go ahead and get this finished by the time my 50 Shades of Brown project pan wraps up. So we'll see how I do. I have a few of the NYX sharpenable lip liners here, which I have always really enjoyed. These, what are they called anyway? Just lip liner pencils. I appreciate that simplicity. So I have this little one in the shade Natural. She's a little warm for me. I mean, obviously I have gone through quite a bit of it, but she's also really old because I struggle to like this shade on my lips. I have another one that is a lot more up my alley. I think I'm going to go ahead and declutter this one. This is the shade Mauve, which is pretty much my perfect lip liner color. Now, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it is just slightly cooler than Natural, and because of that I just find it a lot more flattering on my skin tone. Every time I put on Natural, I wish it was Mauve. Now, I have been told that all the colors of these have been reformulated, so this may not necessarily be the same. I'm curious. I think I kind of want to go pick up another one of the Mauve just to compare and see if it's still the same, because this is pretty much my perfect My Lips But Better lip liner. It is not the sharpest and most precise formula that I have ever used, but it is a little bit more on the waxy side, definitely more so than the Give Me Glow. So if you want more precision with your lip liners, I think this one is a better option. Hanging on to that one. Last, I have this one in the shade Prune. This is more of a kind of purple berry color. And this one is very nice, but I do think I'm going to go ahead and let go of this one because I have a couple of others along similar lines here in this drawer that I just like better. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and declutter that one. So speaking of those purple lip liners, let's look at the other ones that I have here. This is a fairly new one for me. This is the Sephora lip liner in the shade 36, Wild at Heart. This is definitely a much more of a creamy gel formula, similar to the Give Me Glow. But I find it similarly very pretty, and again, a little bit cooler than Prune. So when I'm looking for a purple lip liner, between the two of these, I'm more likely to reach for the Sephora. However, my favorite purple lip liner is this one. This is from Glamlight. It's from their Rick and Morty collection. I picked it up for like $2 at TJ Maxx. I think it was Christmas time last year, and it was $2 because someone had busted into the package and stolen I think it was a lip gloss that came with this. I can't remember if it was lip gloss or if it was a liquid lipstick. Anyway, they had stolen the lip product, and so all that was left was the lip pencil, and I was curious and wanted to give it a try. And it has become one of my favorite lip pencil formulas. This is definitely on the harder, more waxy side. Now, it's not hard. You don't have to scrub your lips. It's not going to hurt to apply this. But because it's very pigmented, so I am just barely touching my hand here, and you can see the pigment that's coming off, but you can get a very fine, precise line with this. And I find when I'm wearing a deeper color like this, that's what I want. You can see how similar this one is to the NYX Prune, but I prefer this formula to the NYX. Really enjoy this one. This has made me want to try more Glamlight lip liners, although as you can see, I'm not really in need of more lip liners at the moment, so I'm trying to exercise a little self-control. But yeah, really, really love this pencil. Here are a couple I think I can go ahead and let go. These are both from AOA Studios. These are, again, that more gel-like, that more soft gel-like formula. I also find them to be pretty sheer, to be honest. I think you can tell just watching me try to get product off. Yeah, not super happy with the formula of these. I do find them to be a little bit too soft, a little bit too sheer. I just don't like them. This is in the shade Whiskey. Yeah, not impressed. Then there's this. This is the Cosmic Cowgirl lip liner in the shade Fringe. And this is the one that came with a little lip brush. And that should have been a clue for me when I picked it up. Oh my gosh. This is definitely, again, this is a gel-like texture that's meant to be blended out on the lips, obviously. But I don't know. I don't feel like it blends very well. It's very sheer. Do you see that? It almost, the included brush almost completely blends it away. It was just too sheer. It was too sheer. If I want this look, I'm going to reach for, I don't know, I'm going to reach for Clinique's Black Honey or one of the other sheer balmy lip products that I have in my collection. Yeah, not impressed with this one. Don't like it. Letting it go. I think I have one more in here from AOA Studios, which honestly is, I think, the best formula of all of them, but I hate this color. The swatch online was pretty misleading. I can't, like, listen, if it was the color that you see on the tube, oh, I'd love it. I'd love it. I think this is definitely a superior formula to either of these two, but I can't think of a shade of red that I despise more on my own face. So this is a complete no-go. Decluttered. I have a couple of pencils here from Bodyography, which is a brand I don't have a ton of experience with. I have this shade in Rosewood, which is kind of, oh my gosh, it's very similar. Very similar to the Glam Light. I think there's a little bit more brown in this one. I kind of feel like they're similar enough I don't need both, but these are still, I have not gotten a lot of use out of these. I think I maybe have used this one twice. I would like to use it a little bit more before I make up my mind about whether or not it belongs in my collection. Then this one is in the shade Pouty. I got these in a duo. This is that kind of dusty pink color that I really, really enjoy. It's almost like these two NYX liners had a baby, is what I would call this. Again, have not used this a ton, would like to get a little bit more use out of it before I make any final decisions. So hanging on to that one for now. Ooh, I have another purple lip liner that I forgot to talk about. This is from Alamar Cosmetics. Oh my gosh, it is so similar. I really like this one too, so I'm not giving it up. But clearly that purple shade is something that I'm into, because that is a lot of purple. Then I have one from Zoeva. This is in the shade Eternity. This is more of a rich brown shade with a red undertone. Really enjoy this one as well. Here is another product that is in my 50 Shades of Brown. This is the Milani Understatement Lip Liner in the shade Shoop. This is the lip liner that came with in a little salt and pepper duo. I'm also working on the matching lipstick. This is just a really pretty brown lip liner. It's a neutral brown, very similar to the BFF3. Actually, that's freaking identical. If I had not rolled both of these into my 50 Shades of Brown, I'd probably declutter the ColourPop at this point. But they're both in the project, so I'm going to do my darndest to use them up. Then I have these two from Misho Beauty. I have this one in Ihama, which is kind of a neutral rosy color, similar to these other pinky browns that I have, but a little bit deeper. I enjoy this shade and I enjoy the formula. It is really creamy and glides on well, but I do feel like it lends itself to a bit more precision than the Give Me Glow, for instance. And then I have this one in the shade Madam, which I also believe is in a project. And it's very similar to the Zoeva, except for the Zoeva is a bit lighter. And the formula looks a little bit more transparent than the Misho. Yeah, hanging on to this one as well. I really actually like these Misho Beauty lip liners and would not object. Well, you know, in 300 years when I've used these ones up, I would not object to trying some more from the brand. Here is my other one from Sephora. This is in the shade, let's see, shade 12, called The Red. You see the problem? Do you see the problem? What is wrong with me? I was on a little bit of a hunt for a red lip liner because most of these other very deep lip liners that I have lean more brown or more purple. But when I just want it to be red, I want a red lip liner, and I don't currently have one in my collection, and I just need to stop buying them online is what I need to do. I need to go in store. It is a lighter cherry color that's not going to help me at all with the types of red lipsticks that I like to wear. So despite the fact, I think I've used this like once. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. Okay, we're almost there. This is the Peri Para Ink Velvet Lip Liner in the shade Rosy Nude. And this one I think is very, see that? Do you see what I just did? I did that with my Misho Beauty lip liner a few months ago. So obnoxious. I think it's very much along the lines of these ones here. It is just that kind of cooler mauvey color that I really like. I enjoy this pencil enough that I'm going to go ahead and keep it as well, despite the shade overlap. Okay, these last two are little minis. This is one by Makeup by Mario in the shade Smoky Pink. This came along with a mini of the lipstick in the shade Erin. I really do enjoy this one. It goes well with the Erin lipstick. This is almost identical to the NYX in Mauve. This one is a little bit, it's a hair more brown, and it is definitely more pigmented than the NYX. But both of these are just so close to my perfect My Lips But Better shade. I'm hanging on to this one as well. And then I have the Pat McGrath. This came in a little set with a lipstick and a lip gloss. I don't know if it's a warmth issue so much as it is a vibrancy issue. I struggle to make this one work. I do. I struggle to make this one work. But I don't know that I'm ready to give it up just yet. So yeah, I think I'm going to hang on to it a little while longer. I could see myself decluttering this in the future, but for now I'm going to go ahead and hang on to it. So how did we do? So including the lip line, Give Me Glow lip liner in Wicked, that is not here, I am keeping 20 lip liners. Gosh, that's a lot of lip liners. And we're getting rid of 6. So decluttering 6, keeping 20. That's not the most amazing ratio, but I feel good about getting rid of these lip liners, which every time I see them in the drawer, every time I open this drawer and I see these lip liners, they frustrate me. So I'm going to just go ahead and spare myself that experience and get rid of these. Okay, next, let's take a look at my brow and lash products. These are my brows, these are my lashes. Let's go through these first. There is one item missing from this, and that is a second NYX Lift and Snatch. So I have 2 of these. This one is in the shade Black, and then out of curiosity, rather than need, I permitted myself to purchase the same one in gray. They had a sale. It was a little bit of an impulse buy. I do prefer more of a gray brow product than I do a straight black, simply because with black, I usually have to struggle to make sure the intensity is not too high. I have genuinely black eyebrows, so I do feel like anything with even a hint of warmth in it, even the darkest, coolest brown, if it's still brown, it just looks odd in my eyebrows, especially because I don't tend to put product through my entire brow. So I do have this one in gray as well somewhere. I'm not sure exactly what happened to it, but I've used it recently, which is probably why I can't find it right now. I really, really love the NYX Lift and Snatch. It is the best eyebrow pencil that I have ever used. Definitely hanging on to this. Then I have two micro eyebrow pencils from Langmani, which is a brand you can find on Amazon. These just cost a few dollars each. I have the shade 01 and the shade 04. I'm actually not sure which is which because I do know that I have, because I'm pretty sure I've gotten these caps mixed up a time or two. No, that's the gray one. Oh my gosh, I can't tell. One of these is supposed to be black and one of them is supposed to be gray. I gotta admit, I really can't tell a difference. Okay, I think this is the black one and this is the gray one, but on the brows, there's almost no difference at all. So I don't know why I bothered getting both shades. The one thing that I do really dislike about this is that it is a very dry formula, which I appreciate. I like a dry, waxy formula that will allow me to be really precise, but it snaps off in the tube. Both of them have done this to me. I've gone through an entire one of these pencils before. It happened with that one. It's happened with both of these. I just can't deal with the inconvenience. This thing is always threatening to slide out, and when it's a dual-ended product, so you're going to be flipping this around in order to use the spoolie, it's frustrating. So my search continues for the perfect micro brow pencil under $10. While I was searching for that perfect micro brow pencil, I picked this one up from AOA Studio, which, to be honest, was silly because one end is this teardrop shape that I know that I don't like. I finished one of these earlier this year and it was so annoying the whole time. This is in the shade Ebony. I just don't enjoy these teardrop shapes. I think it's partially because I am using a black shade here and I have to be careful to avoid the Sharpie brow. Now the micro brow pencil on this side is actually quite good. I don't mind this one at all. So because this one still does work for me on this side at least, I'm going to go ahead and hang on to it until I finish this product. And then I'm going to probably declutter after that point because I refuse to torture myself with another teardrop shaped eyebrow product. I don't have time for that in my life. So the search continues. Then we have this. This is the NYX Brow Glue. I can't actually tell you why I picked this up. My brows within the context of their natural shape are actually pretty well behaved, so I don't often need something like this. However, it does come in handy every once in a while. Sometimes when the tails grow a little bit longer and I haven't had the time to trim, I do feel like they need a little bit more hold. That is just a once in a while thing for me. I'm going to go ahead and hang out onto it for now, but this may get decluttered sometime in the near future. So we're actually not getting rid of any of these eyebrow products, which I'm not surprised about. I think I've gone through 4 or 5 eyebrow products just this last year. So I will absolutely finish up all of these. This one is a little bit more questionable. We'll just see how it goes. We'll play it by ear. Brow products really aren't the sort of thing that I have to worry about going bad in my collection, just because I tend to go through them so consistently. So mascaras. I have 5 little minis here. These are all brand new. I got them in a little set from Sephora in November. It also comes with a voucher. Once I am done with all of these minis and I have decided which one I like the best, I can take the voucher to Sephora and redeem it for a full size of any one of these. The Benefit FanFest is the one that I'm working on right now, and I am really quite enjoying it. Benefit has really never let me down with their mascaras. I've always enjoyed the Benefit mascaras, and this one is no different. And we will see how I feel about the rest of these. But yeah, I'm going to be keeping all of them. Okay, last, my eye primers. Now, I do have one missing from here. It is my Sephora Colorful Shadow and Liner, which is a little unfortunate. That's the one that I've been working on really hard for the last several months as part of my 50 Shades of Brown project pan. And I haven't seen it for about 2 weeks, which alarms me a little bit. In its place for the last couple of weeks, I have been using this Sigma eyeshadow base primer. It is in the shade Earthen. I have really enjoyed this. Obviously, it is a little bit darker than my skin tone, especially in the wintertime. There's more of a contrast there, but I'm usually going over it with other deeper shades. So that doesn't really bother me at all. As far as how it performs as a primer, I have really, really enjoyed this. It's not too tacky, it's not too dry, it holds everything in place. I've really, really enjoyed the Sigma eye primer. So yeah, I'm hanging on to that one. Another one that I really enjoy is this Pat McGrath Labs Intensifies Artistry Wand. Now this is an interesting product. It's like this, it's this clear gel product. It's got a clicky, you click it up, and then it's got this kind of clear tacky gel that you can apply on top of other eyeshadows without disturbing what you've already laid down. It is like a glitter glue, but not quite as sticky and not quite as likely to disrupt what you already have going on underneath. I really, really enjoy these for using Pat McGrath's special shades, especially her older ones that have more of that kind of rough, dry, flaky texture and can sometimes be prone to fallout. This is a really good thing to lay down underneath those, not just to hold them in place, but to give them a little bit more intensity and help those shimmers really kind of group together in a more dense and impactful way. Really, really enjoy this. Now let's see, I think I can part with at least one of these. I have two white shadow bases for more colorful looks. This is one from Perfusion. I think I was never happy with how opaque this blends out on the lid. In order to get any significant opacity, it just ends up needing to be a lot more product than I really think you should have on your eyelid underneath a shadow look. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. The other one that I tried for the same purpose was the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade White. And this one, I was a little bit surprised because I remember this concealer just being the most pigmented back in the day. People loved this thing, but blended out, I kind of feel like it's about the same. Another factor is that I don't do as many bright, colorful looks where I feel like I might need a white base as I used to. It's not really part of my regular rotation, so I don't find myself reaching for either of these, to be honest. So I do think the Pro Conceal might edge this one out just a bit because I think I had to layer the Profusion up a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know that this necessarily occupies an important space in my collection any longer, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter both of them. Now this one, the label is completely gone off of this one. I've had it for far too long. This is a glitter glue. It is the only glitter glue currently in my collection. This is from, this is the Pixie Epoxy from Firene. Yeah, it's Firene. Firene is a mineral eyeshadow independent makeup company. This was given to me as a gift. It is a phenomenal glitter glue. I have really, really enjoyed this glitter glue, but it is just too old. I cannot put this on my eyes any longer. I have had it in this drawer much longer than I should have. And to be perfectly honest, the last few times that I've used it was really rolling the dice. Last, I have this one by Alter Ego. This is their eyeshadow base. It is one of those clear bases. It's very, very much reminds me of the Urban Decay Primer Potion. And I don't know. I feel like it's very nothing on my eyelids, despite the fact that I do have hooded eyelids and the folds are pretty deep. I don't struggle with a ton of creasing. So what I want most from my eye primers is longevity, impact. So something that's going to really make the eyeshadow stand out as true to pan as possible, and something that's also going to maintain that intensity over time. So I don't really feel like this does either of those things for me. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one as well. So this is the first category so far that I have gotten rid of more than I am keeping. I do still have the Sephora Colorful Shadow and Liner somewhere around here. So that means that we are decluttering 4 and we will be keeping 3. That feels very liberating because now the only things I have left to use are the things that I really enjoy. I may go ahead and purchase another glitter glue along these lines, but for now, I'm happy with this. Okay, and really quick, as a bit of extra credit, here is a category that I completely forgot to include in with my other cheek products, and that is my contour products. I only have 3 contour products right now, and I intend to keep all of them, but I just want to really quickly share them with you. I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour stick in the shade Mink. This is probably my favorite product for a really sculpted look. Now, because there is such high opacity in this product, you do have to be careful with this one to make sure that you blend everything out really well. However, I don't find it particularly hard to blend out. I actually really enjoy this product. Definitely hanging on to this. The other one I have is kind of the opposite of the ABH. Well, the real opposite that I had was the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand, which I finished earlier this year. I've actually finished 2 contour products this year. The Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand and one from AOA Studios that I actually really quite liked. This is the Salt New York Cream Tint Pro in the shade Taupe. And this one is very similar in shade to the ABH. It's a hair cooler, but it has a beautiful transparent balmy texture. The way that it looks on the skin reminds me quite a lot of the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand that I completed. It has that lovely translucency in it that makes it so easy to get a very natural contour. This is not going to give you like a full glam super sculpted look, but it will give you a very natural contour. I really enjoy this. This is currently in my 50 Shades of Brown, and I think I have a good chance of finishing it. Last, this is my one and only powder contour. This is the Sephora Colorful Contour. It is in the shade Second Chance number 35. I picked this up at TJ Maxx for $5. It is also a bit cooler than the other 2. It's not swatching the best, but it is much better to have a contour that can endure some building up. It's easier to work your way up to the right amount of intensity than it is to like knock it back if you've overdone it. There are certain situations in which I feel more comfortable with a powder than I do with a cream, and in those instances I reach for this one. In any case, those are my contours. I look like I have dirt all over the back of my hand. I am happy with all 3 of these. I have no intention to add to this collection anytime in the near future, but I don't feel the need to part with any of these either. So I'm happy with this category as it is. And that is everything from me for today. We're getting close to needing to start on the eyeshadows. That's definitely going to be the most labor-intensive part of this whole declutter / inventory series. I admit, I have been putting it off a little bit. We're probably going to need to split the eyeshadows into 2, maybe 3 videos. We'll see how it goes. But thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.